Hello, it's Randi Rhodes. Here's a clip from our show, and go to randyrhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.
Mary had a little man.
The fault. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream. Change has come to America.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show. Turn up your mind.
We haven't even been a year, and we did the largest tax cut in our history.
That's a lie.
I hate to say this, but we essentially repealed Obamacare because we got rid of the individual mandate, which was terrible. And that was a primary source of funding of Obamacare.
Shut up. It was not. Your premiums are the primary funding. The government subsidies for those who can't afford their premiums, that is another source of funding. They did get rid of the CSR payments, which caused my premiums to double. And a lot of people on Twitter are telling me that their premiums are around $2,000 a month now. It's just unbelievable. But here's another little factoid about this crazy thing before I tell you why Wells Fargo and Boeing and all those are giving a measly $1,000 increase, a bonus, a one-time payment. Wait till you hear the business they have in front of the House and the Senate. Oh my God, it's pay to play. But here's the thing: if you're a couple and you're making $77,400 between the two of you, you will now be in the 12% tax bracket. All right, that's all right. But if you make $77,401, you're in a 22% tax bracket. That's a 10% jump in, wow. So just saying. But anyway, these are the tax brackets. And of course, the bottom, their tax brackets don't change. 10 is 10. Everybody is, no change. And for some strange reason, this upper middle class 424, 950 to 426, 700, you stay the same too. I don't get it. And of course, if you're in a higher tax state, then you are going to pay more in federal taxes. All right, let me go over this story. Yesterday, the most horrific part of it was that this just in, AT&T, they're gonna give their employees $1,000 bonus over here. Yeah, and of course I told you this the $1,000 bonus cost them $200 million, which sounds like a lot, until you understand that they can expense it now and it costs them nothing, and that they have an $85 billion merger pending before Donald Trump's Department of Justice, Jeff Sessions, and they have literally sued AT&T. The DOJ has. So to make this all go away, they thought the low bargain basement price of $200,000 so that they could, send a little note to the president in the middle of all this thank you crap that happened yesterday. That would make the DOJ look the other way. And maybe it will. Maybe it will. The president said yesterday on this day, this just came out 2 minutes ago. They handed it to me. AT&T plans to increase U.S. capital spending by $1 billion and provide a $1,000 special bonus to more than 200,000 U.S. employees. And that's because of what we do. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. It's a $200 million purchase of the Department of Justice is what that is. So if you thought that, what Colin Kaepernick was doing, kneeling because of unequal justice under the law, welcome to unequal justice under the law now, as far as the tax code goes. Okay. Now, here's another one. All right. Boeing, Fifth Third Bank. Let's take them first. Okay. Fifth Third Bank suddenly follows suit, and they promised $1,000 bonus to 13,500 of its employees, and they're going to raise hourly wages of 3,000 employees to $15. Now that sounds great. They make the minimum wage at Fifth Third Bank is $13.50. So it's $1.50 an hour more, which I'm sure everyone will appreciate at the end of the week. $1.50 an hour more. That's going to go a long way. You can't even buy a cup of coffee at Starbucks for that. But okay. So, and the $1,000 bonus that Wells Fargo is giving to their employees is also expensed, so it will cost them nothing. But the reason that Fifth is interested in currying favor with the government is because Fifth Third, I always say this backwards, Fifth Third Bank General Counsel Jelena McWilliams is about to have a confirmation hearing in front of the Senate to become the director of the FDIC. So they have some interest in the Senate being happy with them and with Trump being happy with them. And so that explains theirs. Boeing. Okay. Boeing also is considering, giving the bonus to their employees and to, raising wages a little bit. So Boeing has before the administration the sale of $20 billion worth of jetliners to Iran. And Wells Fargo also said that they are going to, give bonuses to their employees. Yeah, Wells Fargo is facing these these unbelievable, well, they're not criminal, these unbelievable fines for opening up credit card accounts that people who have accounts at Wells Fargo never asked for, so that they could boost the profit margin. They could show that people were going to Wells Fargo in record numbers and they were opening up all these new accounts, but people didn't ask for these new accounts. And of course, they big, huge fines were levied against Wells Fargo. They fired their CEO. Remember, this was all Elizabeth Warren's Consumer Protection Bureau that actually figured out and found out that Wells Fargo was, doing this to ordinary Wells Fargo account holders, the little guys. And that all of a sudden they had credit card accounts that were open that were hurting their FICO scores, their experience scores, and the people started complaining, and the Consumer Protection Bureau actually went and fought Wells Fargo. So there's these huge fines that have to be paid. Donald Trump said when he was running for that he wanted to double these fines. That what they did was unconscionable. What they did was bad. It was sad. So they have all these fines pending. So they make this announcement yesterday so that Donald Trump will look the other way when it comes to paying these fines. This is what I mean when I say pay to play. This is a pay to play transactional government. That has nothing to do with the Constitution. I don't see anywhere in the Constitution where it says that legal entities are supposed to pay the Senate and the House in order to get favorable legislation out of it. I missed that part. Somebody to, direct me to. And of course, the Twitters, the Make America Great Again. These people are so stupid and so easily bamboozled that they don't understand that there's all this pending business that Boeing and Fifth Third and Wells and AT&T have pending in front of the Department of Justice, the Senate Confirmation Committee. They don't get that. There's fines that have been levied against Wells Fargo, and they want the government to look the other way or give them a pass, and that they're buying favorable treatment by giving you $1,000, a one-time $1,000 payment. I mean, come on. How easy is it to buy off a Make America, gag again person? Apparently their price is $1,000 one time. You give them $1,000 one time, and they'll look the other way. And let Boeing start selling, things to Iran. It's amazing. It is amazing. All right, so families earning less than $25,000 a year, okay? You will get an average tax cut of $60. It's so much easier when you do it from the bottom up, isn't it? I mean, to understand these numbers. I hope people get the pay-to-play references. I hope you understand what that is. But if you make $25,000, you will get an average tax cut of $60. Between $50,000 and $75,000, $890. And of course, your health insurance just went up by $700 a month. $700 a month, and you don't qualify for a subsidy or Medicaid, right? So your health insurance, and by the way, the cost of health insurance in Utah, where Orrin Hatch was just, lifted his leg and just peed all over the president, thanking him for letting him write for his real estate buddies these amazing tax cuts, right? In Utah, the cost of health care is about to increase 69%. 69%. But you'll get a tax cut of $890. So let's just figure this out, okay? You get a tax cut, of $890, but your health insurance could be costing you $1,000 a month, and maybe it'll go up $100. I'm going to be real conservative here. So maybe it'll go up $100, right? So it's 11. You're already in the hole. You're already in the hole. You get $890 a year, but your insurance is going to go up $100 a month. That's a $1,200 increase in your health costs, but an $890 reduction in your taxes. You just lost $400. You know what I mean? You just lost $400. But if you make more than $1 million, you'll get $70,000 a year as a tax cut. Enjoy it while you can. All right, so people are asking me if we vote Democratic in 2018, if there's a big blue wave in 2018, can we undo this? Well, I said yes yesterday because you actually could. The answer would be yes. But here's the high hurdle, and I want everyone to process this internally. All right, so we take the House, we take the Senate. Tax bill comes up again. The House says this is ridiculous. What we would rather do is we would rather expand Medicaid to all the states, or we would rather do universal health care, and we would rather get rid of your premiums, which would save you a crap load of money. Medicare for all would save everybody. I mean, it would save me $1,300 a month every month. That's a lot of money for me. That's a lot of freaking money for me. Because I'm very honest with you. I pay myself $2,000 a month. That's what I pay myself. So you do the math, okay? I got $700 a month that isn't going to health insurance. I mean, it's just like mind-blowing, right? Okay. So Medicare for all would be great, great, great for me. It would be just like amazing. And even if I had to pay a little more in tax, I'm already paying 1.4% more in taxes under this plan of Trump's. So if I had to pay 3% more in taxes, it would save me $1,300 a month. A month, every month. Instead of $890 a year, which I don't even get the benefit of. All right, so that said, if the House decides that they want to change the distribution of wealth in this country, make it more equal, and they, come up with a better plan, a more decent plan, a plan that actually has growth in mind, a plan that actually puts money in consumers' pockets, which would be a good growth plan for a economy that is 70% consumer driven. That's our economy. There's only so many, mansions you could buy in this country, okay? The other 70% of our GDP is generated by you and me buying stuff. So they pass it in the House, and then we take the Senate too, and we pass it in the Senate. Let's say we use reconciliation. We only need 50, and we can get there. Okay, that's fine. So then what happens? It goes to the president, who will veto it. Right? Right. Because this is going to make, if he wasn't a billionaire before, he certainly is now. And his kids just get to inherit $22 million tax-free. So they don't have to do anything because we reward inheritance. We reward money, making money, capital gains, more than, in this tax bill, work. So if the president vetoed any plan that the Democrats could put forward by having a big blue wave in 2018, which is likely to happen, in my opinion, you should mark this as a prediction, Brett. This is the second to last day of 2017's shows, and I'm saying that we will take the House and the Senate in 2018. But unless we can get 2/3 of a majority in the House and Senate, that's how big the blue wave has to be. It's got to be a monster. It's got to be tsunami. A tsunami. Then we could override the president's veto and we can self-govern again. And we can make it so that poverty in America is finally addressed. We can make sure 9 million children do not lose their health insurance because their parents can't pay $1,300 a month for health insurance. You see what I mean? So it's got to be a huge blue wave. Go to RandiRhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.